I'm so excited to come back live. This is Monday, and I'm in Estonia right now. And I've decided to join Mind University for 1 week. So right now I'm in Tallinn. I just registered. VIP tickets. So yeah, excited to spend a whole week here. And yeah, I can see Tiberius joined. Yes. Wait a minute. I'm trying to add Tiberius. Yeah. So.
What's going on?
Okay. So. I'm so excited to start IAM Creation Lives, and it will be a series of lives that I will have two times a month. And I have a first live today with an amazing human being, Tiberius. He's a good
Can you
friend.
see me?
Yeah, I can see you, sure.
I'm not seeing you. I just see a black screen.
Black screen, you can't see me?
No.
Can people see me? I've prepared amazing background.
1 second. Let me join from the other account.
Okay.
Give me a
So
sec.
while you will join, I will represent you a little bit. So yeah, Tiberius is a dedicated entrepreneur, speaker, life coach, and he's a world traveler, and he spent more than 15 years of his he spent more than 15 years of his life to dive deep into the personal growth, and he had the chance to organize the events with. Okay, can you see me now?
I'm back. I'm not seeing you unless I join out. Like when we're doing the split screen, I'm not seeing you, but I can hear you. So if people can see us, then I guess it's great.
Can you tell if you can see both of us? Can somebody comment if you can see
Oh,
us?
I see my sister can see us.
Okay, sister, can you see
Hello.
us?
What's going on?
Okay, so yeah, he had the chance to organize events and work with one of the best speakers in the world, like Tony Robbins and Bob Proctor, and he has been certified in their coaching modalities, and he holds more than 200 lives, and he's leading the coaching sessions, private coaching sessions, and he created a personal growth community, including the Instagram page Law of Attraction that have more than 5 million subscribers right now, and he has a lot of other pages, and he's creating also offline communities. He's traveling around the world, he's inspiring people. So and also he's dancing zouk. I met this guy at the zouk retreat, and also he's serving tea ceremonies. This is like a secret, but he's he's doing also tea, and I had the possibility to travel with him to the tea ceremony with 1,000 people. So yeah, he's an amazing human being, and I really why I've decided to invite him, because his story is very inspiring, and I would love to invite you, my dear, to share your story, because like your personal story can inspire so many people, because I know I heard from you that at the age of 19 with no resources, with mindsets and with a lot of limiting beliefs, I'm not worthy, it's not possible, I'm not good enough, etc., you managed to bring Bob Proctor to Romania to share the art of manifestation. So yeah, I would love to hear the story, and maybe you can tell a little bit also about Bob Proctor, because I'm not sure if everyone know about him. So yeah, please share this story.
The story. Thank you. Thank you, Alona. And what's going on, Law of Attraction Life family? Really cool to see everyone here. Instagram is glitching a bit. So I hope everyone can see. I hope everyone can hear. And welcome. My
Siblings.
story.
Siblings. I love the comments, sorry. Yeah.
I'm in the dark with you. We're like in a dark room. I can see me, but I cannot see you, but I can hear you. So that's
Okay.
fine. Story. You know, it just came to my mind. There's a quote by Ram Dass, and I'm sure you heard about Ram Dass. By the way, if you heard about Ram Dass, guys, give me a heart or type one. He said, the world is perfect as it is, including my desire to change it. I found this a very fascinating quote. And when I was 19, I was in Romania, and my boss told me to watch the movie The Secret. Back then, I was working in video production. I had a job as a driver, and I got that job because I knew that if I'm working in the TV business, no matter what job I have, I'm gonna meet some celebrities. And if I meet some celebrities, then if they feel that I am dedicated, smart, then maybe I can climb the social ladder faster. Because I wasn't a big fan of the formal education. I wasn't a big fan of going to college back then. But that's another story. So one thing led to another, and we had this session when we filmed. We filmed one of the most wealthiest guys in Romania back then, and I was 19. This is a long time ago, and something changed my life back then. Something fascinated me because that guy that guy came and we were filming him. And again, I was a driver. I wasn't filming. I would just carry equipment in the and in the set, and then wait somewhere in the back. And that guy came and he shook hands with everyone in the set. The directors of images, the sound people, whatever. And then he walked to the back of the room and he shook hands with me. And that caused something to kind of like break in my mind, because I was like, why would this guy come and shake hands with me? Because I'm nobody. And I never saw a wealthy person in my life till that moment. I grew up in a very small town in Romania. And I grew up believing that people that are wealthy, they are bad, corrupt, arrogant. Yet I see this person make an effort to come to the back of the room and shake hands with me. And my mind was like, what? What? And then I kept observing him throughout the shooting. He had this magnetism about him. And then I went and I asked my boss, I said, how did this guy become so successful? And my boss said, go and watch the movie The Secret. He said, if you watch the movie The Secret, you're going to find something about the power of your mind. And of course, I went and I watched the movie The Secret, right? Back then, I was living in a room. I was paying 40 euros a month. That's like $45. And my roommate used to come at 2 a.m. in the morning. I would be sleeping because I was working, smoke a joint in bed with me, and then pass out. And he was dealing weed. I really didn't like my environment. That's why I got a job. I was striving to change it. And then I watched the movie The Secret and I cried. He was sleeping next to me in bed and I watched it in the morning and I just cried because I was like, this all makes so much sense. But I went through life growing up in this environment where you just don't believe that things are possible. You just don't. It's You grow up thinking that you're born in the wrong side of the world, that you're not born in the right family, that you're not born in the right environment. And I know we have people joining us from all over the world, and I have so much love for our community. Thank you for following our page. And I know that you might come from a place where people, environment, culture, just somehow in one way or the other tells you that it's not possible. And you might be dedicated, you might be smart, you might be hardworking, but if your imagination is just capped by this invisible wall of very few things are possible, then it's very hard to mentally move out of it, right? So what that movie did for me was to kind of like expand my horizons, because I thought if I have the power to manifest with my thoughts, then I can choose better thoughts and create a better life. And then the story goes, and feel free to interrupt me, Alona, if you feel you want to ask some more questions. But the story goes that I really like Bob Proctor from the movie, right? I liked him. I felt him, and I'm like, I want him to be my mentor. And if you know Bob, type of 1 or type of heart, he passed away a couple of years ago, but he was a legend, and he still is in this world of personal growth. And I remember receiving an email from his company because I signed up on his website to his newsletter, and he had this program he was selling, this digital program um, on goal achieving, on manifesting your goals. And it was $200, the program. It was like a huge discount. You know how the emails are, like huge discount, buy today, whatever. And my salary was $300 a month. So it was a lot of money for me. And when you grow up in Romania, you just don't buy stuff online. You just download everything from the internet, right? So that was a different thing. And I'm like, ooh, I'm going to make a big investment into this. But I said this, look, I really hope what this guy is telling is true. And I made a big risk back then. For me, it was. But I said to myself, I said, I'm going to try my best to follow this program. And I'm going to do what it says. And I hope it works. I didn't know it works, but I hoped it worked. So he has this program that I bought, and he says, look, when you set a goal, you should set something that excites you, that, lightens you up, but scares you in the same time. And then he said, you don't need to know how you're going to get it. And then he asked you in the program to make a bit of a shopping list of like the things you want to manifest. So as I was writing a list of things I want, there's a voice that pops up in my head, and it says, wouldn't it be great if this guy would come to Romania and teach this information in Romania? And then wouldn't it be great if you would learn how to teach this information in your country or around the world? And then my second voice was like, yeah, but it's impossible, right? I don't have money. I'm 19. I don't have any contacts, business experience, schooling. Like how would I do that? And then I just caught myself in between those thoughts. I'm like, this is exactly what he's talking about in this program. We dream something for a second, and then in the next second, a voice comes and says it's not possible, and we just forget about it because that voice comes with a lot of reasons why it's not possible. You don't have the money, you don't have the culture, you're nobody, you don't have the. Very valid reasons, I would say. But in the same time, not true enough for you to stop going after that. So I just wrote it down. And after I found out what needs to happen to manifest an event like this with a top speaker, I learned that it would have taken me 20 years to set a salary aside in order to do that, which was great because I really had no idea how I was going to do it. So I really acted in full faith. And he says in the program, once you set a goal, you don't have to know everything perfectly. Just start taking any kind of action that you can. Think that it's going to happen, and then start taking some kind of action. So I just started taking action. I started translating stuff, looking for conference rooms, just whatever I could do one day at a time. And long story short, and I do have a lot of side stories in the big story, which I found cool, and some of the people from the community know it. Long story short, 8 months later, 9 months later, I was on stage with him in Romania, and when I turned 21 on my birthday, I was in Delray Beach, Miami, graduating his class, his course on how to teach his concepts to people in like companies. And 2 years before that, I didn't even know how I would get a visa to even go to America. It was just like impossible dreams. And then I ended up, working in sales, in marketing, in coaching. Went into the online world, created this community and a bunch of others. It's been an interesting ride so far, and it keeps getting better and better in different ways, for sure.
Yeah. So how, like, when you've started to tap into your like inner power, inner potential, how did your life change? I mean, like, what is your life right now? Are you still using this manifesting tool? What does it, what does it bring for you? Like, I want to hear more how your life changed after this. What is your life now?
Okay, interesting question. Thank you. Just want to shout out everyone here in the chat. Thank you for all the beautiful words. Thank you for the hearts. Someone says that I was live with Tiberius in 2019. Hey, I don't remember, but you can text me. I'd love to know more about it. Was it an Instagram live? On my birthday, I was on stage with Gwen Stefani in Vegas. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Wow, congratulations. Manifested a career. 500K salary without a degree. Beautiful. I love it. So nowadays, um, I think there's different ways to grow. I A way to grow is to look in the outside world, and Tony Robbins calls it the science of achievement, which I think is very important, especially when you're starting out. Um, you want to manifest some more money, right? Like, what's the science of achievement around that? Like, there's a set of rules, there's a set of skill sets, there's a certain mindset, right? Same goes for health. You got to understand some things. There's also another way to grow in my mind right now, which I really like, and it has a lot to do with looking inside. It has a lot to do with being present with what's alive right now inside of me, and to feel where fear might be controlling me, where shame might be controlling me, where judgment might be controlling me, right? You would find that there's a lot of people who have mastered the achievement game. And I have clients I've worked with, super successful, multimillionaire people, but they're driven by their need to prove themselves, or they're driven by their need to subconsciously run away from fear, right? Which is not a bad thing, but it might cause some anxiety. It might cause some disruptions in the nervous system. So now I'm more like, okay, how can I grow out of a place of connection with the universe? How can we went to a dance retreat together, Zouk dance. Zouk dance is it's like a partner dance, right? We dance together and we feel each other. So how can I understand that there's a part of me, there's an inner world here, and then there's an outer world here, and the outer world is happening, and my inner world is happening. And I have this space inside my mind where I can calibrate things, and I can be present, and I can hold space for myself and understand what's going on and see where I have to lean in, where I have to work on, what I have to do in order to co-create with the outside world. So it's it's a bit of a different game versus how I used to manifest. I'm looking a lot more inside. I'm sitting a lot more with, I would say, emotions that are quite heavy. Before, I used to be I used to be a big NLP guy, like neuro linguistic programming, which would mean like, hey, if I feel some fear, I'm gonna like change my pose and take a cold shower and then go do some work, change my state. Now I'm more like, okay, if there's some fear in me, I'll create some space around it. I'll listen to it. I'll see what's behind it. Like, what's the message? What's something that I need to know about myself? What's something that I need to heal? What's something that I need to bring to the surface? So yeah, it's looking more inward than outward, I would say, nowadays.
I think you even told that you changed from saying personal development to personal growth. So something changed in you that you started to use personal growth, and I think it comes from the inside, right?
I think so. I think so, yeah.
Yeah, and what would be the, I don't know, like this, the first steps that people can do to really come back to this presence, to come to this inner world and build this belief that anything is possible, regardless of their background, age, religion, circumstances, how people can really start to do this, where they should start, where you started, what helped you, some practical things if you can share would be amazing.
I feel I always had something inside me that knew that there's something bigger out there. And I had this experience when I was growing up. When I was in the seventh grade, I had a very profound spiritual experience. I had a very big infection. I had, when you need to get an appendix removed, like that type of operation, when it bursts inside you, you can get a big infection. Normally, you need to have a surgery like in a day, right? Otherwise you might die. So I stayed with an infection like that for 3 days, and I had this experience where I felt like I just went into another dimension. And then I ended up staying 1.5 months in the hospital, 2 weeks in the emergency room. So when I left, I felt there's a spirit out there. I felt there's something more to just like the story, like we're programmed to stay stuck in, like the Matrix. So I think that mattered a lot to me, like feeling that there's something bigger there. And then I think it's good to understand like on a rational level. And this is where there's so much science supporting us that, hey, look, we are God's highest form of creation. There's a quote saying, God's gift to you is more talent and ability than you will ever hope to use in this lifetime. Your gift to God is to develop as much as that talent and ability as you can in this lifetime. So it's like the universe evolved for like 13 billion years, and then it created you and you and you and you and you, everyone here. So we have this inherent potential, right? And then there's just like so many quotes about like imagination. We have the power to create images in our mind, right? There's this quote by James Cameron, who created the movie Avatar or Titanic. He said, imagination is a force that can actually manifest a reality. He said, don't put limits on yourself. Others will do that for you. There's a guy, Napoleon Hill, he wrote the most successful self-help book. It's almost 100 years old. He says in that book, imagination is the most marvelous, miraculous, inconceivably powerful force that the universe has ever known. Einstein said imagination is more important than knowledge. So we have this, like we have all of these things, but we kind of like don't know how to use them. So one thing to have as a bit of a good foundation is say, hey, I have a lot more going on for me than society has taught me to believe. So I have this. Now, how can I make this journey fun in order to learn how to use what I have? So that's a good reference point to have, to go from like I'm just not good enough or I'm bad or whatever, to say, hey, you know what? There's some scientific evidence that shows that I'm capable and that more is possible. I feel that's very important. That's number one. Number two, I would really encourage people to meditate and to take some deep breaths, to learn how to practice conscious breathing. Let's take a breath together, all of us. I'm gonna ask you to take a small breath with me. We're gonna inhale through our nose, we're gonna hold it for a second, then we're gonna exhale through our mouth, okay? Let's do it together. Let's inhale, hold it, and exhale. And then just drop in a bit and notice how you feel. And you can comment. And let me ask you this. I'm really curious. Have you taken a conscious breath this week? It's a fresh new week. Have you taken a conscious breath this week? Have you taken a conscious breath over the weekend? And why I'm asking, because breath is a pathway to access a deeper, more aligned, a higher self. There's a part inside of us that's resourceful, smart, compassionate, loving, wise. But normally what happens, the outside world takes charge of our mind and we go through this stressful environment and we're just numb of what's happening in our inner world. So if you learn how to breathe and how to connect with that deeper part of you, you're going to start being more aligned. You're going to start being more like connected with the universe. You're going to start observing some other things. You're going to start seeing synchronicities. Things are going to look a lot more magical and miraculous. You're going to be like, what's this? It's interesting. It's magical. It's beautiful. This happens when we're connected deeper, right? And then I really feel it's just a matter of, I would say, number one, after we build a better relationship with ourselves, is to just get some good skills where we can earn some money. I really feel that this journey of growth and discovery requires some financial circumstances just because the world is arranged as it is. So if you want to explore life and live life to the fullest, you will probably be inspired to travel, to experience a lot of things, to connect with people, and so on, right? So in order to do that, I would really encourage you to find something that you love to do, to find something that's meaningful for you, to understand that manifesting money is a matter of understanding that we put energy out there through a skill that we're good at, and then we get rewarded with the corresponding energy. And work on that for a while. I think it's not that hard. I'm not saying it's easy, but I don't think it's that hard. And then just trust yourself and trust your process and trust your life and understand that life's your greatest teacher and things are possible, and just go out there and enjoy it. These are just a few ideas on the top of my mind.
Yeah, I love it because a lot of people think that they will learn how to manifest the things and they will sit on the couch, they will meditate, and the things, the abundance will just come. No, guys, you need to put the intention, you need to put the attention, you need to do the real actions, and then you can manifest the things. So, my next question would be what, like, we are talking about manifestation here, and there were some questions from the audience, like how I can manifest the things in one day, or how I can manifest the job, etc. So can you share some tools or the concepts or the steps that can help people to manifest the life that they want? So what will be the practical tools that we can start to really use in our real life to manifest, but not just see and meditate? I love about the meditation, but we need to do the action.
Right. So I I want to bring something to everyone's awareness. First of all, we live in the quick fix world. We live in a world where there's a lot of marketing out there, which is telling us that if you take this pill, you're gonna lose weight overnight, or if you put this cream on your face, you're gonna be beautiful. Like there's this narrative there that makes us feel not good enough, and then they want to sell us the quick solution, which usually doesn't work. Now, I'm not saying things are not possible, but what I'm encouraging people to do is to get a wisdom from observing nature. If you go and observe nature, if you go walk in a park or walk in a forest, you will see that nature has its own rhythm. And you take a seed and you plant it in the right soil, and then you nurture it, and then it will grow into its corresponding plant or tree or whatever. But it doesn't happen overnight. We are very rushed. We're living in this rushed world. And what rushing means is kind of like not trusting and being fearful. So I will encourage you to slow down and just enjoy your life and understand that the process to get towards something that's meaningful for you is just as enjoyable or even more enjoyable than actually getting the thing itself. That's number one. Number two, understand this. It's very hard to do things by ourselves. Doing this kind of work, it's a lot easier when you do it with a community of like-minded people. And what's possible nowadays is to find like-minded people and to just connect with them and to be there for each other and to offer your presence and to support each other. When I first started studying this, I had no one around me. People would just laugh at me. It's like, oh, look at Tiberius now. He's a big shot. He wants to bring Bob Proctor or whatever. So, and it was very discouraging for me. But I had some inner resilience to be like, you know what? I'm just going to do my thing. But nowadays, it's a lot easier to do the work with the right people. And please understand this. By default, usually our environments are not the best environments to grow in. But you can consciously go and look for places, whether online or offline, where you can find meaningful connections, where you can find growth, where you can find like-minded people, and so on. Does this make sense?
Sure.
I have a. I was sharing this with someone the other day on a live, um, because I'm in Bali right now, and you also live in Bali, and I know you're in Estonia right now. I'm in Bali. If I want to eat papaya here, I will just need to take my phone out, and in 20 minutes I have papaya from a local market here, delivered through Grab or Gojek or whatever. Now, if you want to have papaya in Estonia right now, it might not be as easy to manifest that papaya.
I'm not sure I can do it. It's too cold and yeah.
You might not even find papaya. So in the right environment, things can manifest a lot faster than in an environment which there's no papaya. Does it make sense? I think it's a good metaphor because we can choose, we can consciously look for the best soils where we can actually plant those seeds in.
Yeah. I love that you brought this topic about co-creation. I recently were preparing some posts and I wrote 1+1, it's infinity. Because when we come together as human beings, it's so easy to co-create and like to get the support, and yeah, we can build and do so many things when we come together and not just trying to do everything alone. So yeah, I love it. And you were talking a lot about your imagination. Can you tell me more how we can use our imagination to manifest the things we want? Because yeah, it's a lot of power in the imagination, in the creativity, but because a lot of adults and grown-up people, they are so busy in their mind, they don't use really this gift that we have inside. So what you can tell about the imagination?
I can tell a lot about imagination because I work with this a lot, and I'm working with a group around this. And I used to work one-on-one with a lot of people around imagination and visualization. And it did help me a lot when I first started studying this when I was 19. I would just visualize myself on stage with Bob Proctor in Romania. And if you go to my profile, it's at Tiberius Live. I'll type it here. Um, I see a lot of my friends here. You already know it. But if you go to my profile at Tiberius Live, that's my personal profile. I have a picture with Bob Proctor on stage there. That was what I was visualizing when I had no idea how I was going to get there. So we have a goal setting and achieving mechanisms inside of us. It's like a Google Maps, and when we start visualizing a target, it's kind of like that maps get activated, that guiding system gets activated. But now this is where people struggle. People struggle with visualizing the wrong things because we're always visualizing. But if we're feeding our mind with, I would say, a stressful state, like when we're in stress, we don't really visualize good things, right? So I was giving a simple thing. Take conscious breath. When you take conscious breaths, you drop more in, you become more relaxed. And then when you become more relaxed, you have a better opportunity to choose the images you want in your mind. Another thing I want to talk about visualization. I used to work one-on-one with a lot of people selling them coaching from Bob Proctor's company. And there was a guided visualization uh, part in the programs, which I used a lot and it worked for me. But there were people I used to work with that the tape, the visualization session wouldn't work for them. And they said, I just get anxiety. And this is where I love listening to people, because there's a lot of, oh no, you got to try harder, right? Oh, it's not working, well, try harder. And I was like, I don't think you should try harder with visualization. So what I would do is I would ask people, so what's not working? It's like, no, like if I listen to that visualization, guided visualization, like I get anxiety. I'm like, okay, let's try doing it laying down, because the instruction was to do it while you're sitting on a chair. They're like, still not working, I'm falling asleep. I'm like, okay, can you go for a walk? Can you just go for a walk and play some nice music that you like, that relaxes you and puts you in a positive state? And you just walk and you visualize with your eyes open. And it doesn't have to be perfectly visual. It can be more of a feeling of what you want. Like, can you do that? So I would get people to see like what works for them. Visualization doesn't have to be purely visual. It's more about getting a feeling of what you want. There's this concept out there that you have to visualize perfectly, like 4K, 8K, HD. No, just get a feeling and work on it and build it like a muscle. And another thing, apply gentleness and curiosity and playfulness to your imagination. Be like, ooh, I have an imagination. I wonder, okay, like let's become aware of what's in my imagination right now. What images am I holding right now? Don't try to control it and to force it. That will get you into a stressful mind. Just be relaxed and playful and curious with it. So I have this thing that creates images, like how can I learn how can I learn to dance with it, if that makes sense?
Yes, some like approach from the child, curiosity, playfulness. So you don't need to stuck and to do the things in the way that somebody does it, but you need to have an individual approach to visualization and use the thing that works for you, right?
Right.
Yeah, I love it.
And what you're sharing is so beautiful. Like when we're kids, you go and you ask a kid what do they want when they grow up, they're gonna say, I wanna be an astronaut, I wanna be the next president, I wanna be like they're not gonna be like, well, based on my current level of education and based on the environment that I grew up in, I'm probably gonna be like a, I don't know, like a janitor. Kids don't have that. They have active, rich imaginations. But then you go to school, and if you go to school like we went to school, you cannot use your imagination there because you're punished. You got to pay attention. You got to do your math. You got to do your algebra. And the moment you just daydream or look out the window, someone comes and punishes you for like daydreaming, or you get shamed for daydreaming. So what we do, we start contracting. We start being like, oh, don't daydream. Only whatever crazy people daydream, or stupid people daydream, or there's all these things that as we mature become we start running away from, and those are actually our beautiful gifts that are so activated when we are young, when we are kids.
Yeah, and there was some comments like comfort zone stops our dreams. What you can tell about comfort zone and how to go out from this comfort zone and use the potential, how we can do it.
So this is what I think about comfort zones. First of all, we love the comfort zone,
Sure.
and we're not shaming the comfort zone, and the comfort zone is great because look, there is a part of us that is designed to make sure that we live to see another day, that we survive, that we are safe. So let's honor that part of us who cares more about us being saved and the crazy dreams we have. There's an old part of our brain, which is more ancient, which still believes that we're somewhere, hunters and gatherers in a very dangerous environment. So it creates this safety, the safety container around us. So let's call that the comfort zone, and let's honor it, and let's see it, and let's be like, this is beautiful. I'm so happy there's a part of me who creates this this comfort zone, right? Now, in our programs and in the way we work with people, we have this concept which is called the aligned edge, right? And by the way, if you wanna learn more about like these things we teach, because I know my page is shadow banned. And by the way, Alona, thank you so much, because I joined with Law of Attraction Live and I see it's been working well. Last week I did Instagram lives and almost no one got notified. So I'm very happy that just before the call, because we were supposed to do it from Stay Positive in Live. I was like, I'm gonna try this with Alona. Maybe we're gonna get more people. So I'm very happy about this. And I just posted my Tiberius live. It's my personal thing. If people just have questions or whatever after our live, you can message me there. But we have this concept. It's called the aligned edge. What does the aligned edge mean? So we have the comfort zone, and then we have something that's called the panic zone. The panic zone might be a bit too much for the nervous system. It's like if I have a desire to speak in public, but I'm very shy, and then I just put you to speak in front of 1,000 people, that might be a bit too much. The nervous system might feel unsafe, and it's getting counterproductive. So what would be an aligned edge? Well, an aligned edge is honoring my need to feel safe, because we all have it, but also honoring my desire to grow. So I'm going to find something that I can agree with in my inner world, that it's both safe but also growth oriented for me. And that's me moving into my discomfort zone, but not into my panic zone. So I have my comfort zone, my discomfort zone, and my panic zone. So you want to find what's aligned for you, what's that aligned edge for you to kind of like explore.
Yeah. And also, like you were talking a lot about the presence, and I know that you're in Bali now and you're enjoying your life, etc. So my question would be also how to find, like, when you're manifesting the dreams, etc. You are putting some big goals, some scary goals, etc. So how to balance these big goals with being content in the present moment?
I mean, I feel
Because it's
it's a,
when you start to manifest the thing, you see that it's working, miracle etc. And it's so easy to find yourself trapped in this game of manifestation and achievement. But how really to be happy and find this content in the present moment?
I just feel it's an individual journey. I feel it's something to explore. I do love sometimes to be more like excited and enthusiastic and go after it and like be like very achievement oriented. I love that. Sometimes I love being more in observation mode and detaching myself, for knowing like, okay, even though I'm like so much out there in the outside world, it's not who I am. And it's just a part of me that wants to play out and to do that. Um, the best ways to tap into the power of the present moment for me, tap into the aligned self. Another concept we work with in our programs, in our method, is the aligned self. The aligned self is that part of us who's like, it's called the Buddha nature or the Atman or the higher self. It's always there with us. So through the breath, and through accepting and through seeing and putting the light of consciousness into our inside world, taking a breath, noticing how we're feeling, noticing the stress, noticing the fear, like just noticing and accepting so much inside ourselves gets us deeper and more into that aligned self. And then when we're there, we're just more connected. So that's a way to do it. Just like take breaths and to meditate and get mindfulness tools. Go do some yoga. Go for a walk. Go practice mindfulness. There's just so much out there, and just know that there's not one way to do things. Like, I don't feel there's a person out there that has life figured out and says, okay, this is the best way. Just give yourself permission to explore. Give yourself permission to see what works. Give yourself permission to fail. Know that you will go after things and then stuff will happen along the way, and they're here to teach you lessons and to grow. Know that we're going to have good days and we're going to have perceived bad days. And those bad days are really going to cause us to kind of like look inside and to reflect and to observe and to grow and just like embrace everything. I have so many beautiful, magical things that happen into my life, and I had things that seemed crazy and unbearable and destructive that happened into my life, and I was like, "Oh my God, why?" And looking back at them, I've just learned so much. I did just so much to enjoy life in life. Just that awareness that this life is a gift and we have no idea why we're here and how it works. We really don't. Like, we have some clues, but we don't. And it's not something to figure out. And we don't even, I don't believe we have the capacity to like hold this entire space and figure out life. But we do have the capacity to accept it and to see it and to see like this is a magical mystery. And I'm here, born in 2024, and some really crazy bad stuff happened to me, but there was also so much magic around me. And just like making a decision to stay more connected to that place of magic that's always there, I just think it's like, yeah, a good tool to live there.
I love that you're bringing a lot of that you're talking a lot about the consciousness, awareness, and mindfulness, because in reality there are a lot of dreams that we have, but a lot of things are just came from the external world and we don't really need them. And when we tap into into the inner world and start to feel more aligned and breathe and meditate, we really start to see what is important for us. And it's some simple things we don't need in reality so much, but our mind and our ego wants a lot more and more. But like, yeah, I love, like, I got my answer how to balance like really these things of achieving and manifesting these things, and really how to be happy with what we have and enjoy the life. And you, like, I would like to ask you also, you were sharing that there were some things in your life that it was like you were asking the God why. So I would love to ask, are you using the gratitude like in your daily basis, the practice of gratitudes? Can you tell me about this? Because you're
I
manifesting.
don't. I used to have a practice of gratitude, which meant writing down things I'm grateful for. Now I don't have it anymore because I feel I have a better tool. And my better tool is to just sit with what's happening and what's alive for me right now. So I have a practice, I do it a few times a day, where I just take breaths, like we just did before. I inhale from our nose. Let's take a breath together. Let's inhale through our nose, hold it, and exhale. And what I do is I start noticing my inner world. I either soften my gaze and close my eyes, and you can do it with me, family here. Just notice what's happening in your inner world and scan your body for sensations. What's happening in your body right now? Is there some tightness? Is there some tingling? Is there some aliveness? Scan your body for emotions. What's happening in your body right now? Do you feel some sadness? Do you feel some joy? Maybe you can have joy and sadness in the same time in your body. You know, some sadness can be in your stomach, some joy can be in your chest, or vice versa. And what I do is I just practice so much observation of my inner world. And when I do that, I just drop in into a deeper place, which has gratitude attached to it. I just connect with myself and I feel so much joy by and so much beauty knowing that if I close my eyes, an outer world disappears and then an inner world emerges. An inner world I used to run away from, an inner world I didn't feel safe in, an inner world where like strong emotions like sadness or anxiety or fear would meant, oh, there's something wrong with me. Now I'm in a place where I go deep and I welcome everything. I say hello to sadness. I say hello to fear. I say hello to everything, knowing that there's no bad parts inside of me. It's just a radical shift in paradigm. And this is what I teach people. Accept everything that's inside you and then see what happens. Say hello to everything. And
Yeah, I love.
then and then gratitude just happens because it's magical. And when it's magical, gratitude is like a byproduct of that versus going in my mind and it works. I'm not saying it doesn't work, versus going in my mind and saying, oh, I'm so happy I have this beautiful house and I help him whatever. Yeah, that's a way for me to like remind my head, my mind, that yeah, there's beautiful stuff around me. But then if I go and get stressed in the next 5 minutes, that's gonna go away. But if I know that I'm carrying myself throughout the day, honoring everything inside me, honoring my inner world while I'm exploring the outer world, then that thing is more, it's more enduring, I would say.
Yeah, it's just more aligned. And thank you very much for sharing this tool. I agree with you. When you like practice the gratitude, when you write the things, you come more to the mind and try to remember what were the things that you did that you are grateful for. But just coming back to the inner world and feel it. Yeah, I could feel it. I feel so much excitement inside. Like I drank a cup of coffee or matcha, and it's so much gratitude, and it comes from the inside. So thank you very much for this reminder, because like for me, I think this tool works more because I prefer to stay more aligned with my inner world than just to do the tools that will help me but at the same time I will come back to the mind. So thank you very much for this tool. And before we finish this amazing life, I would like to ask you for one advice that you can give to people that are on this path of learning how to manifest like their dream life. What would be your one advice?
Um, I would say that no matter where you are, believe it's possible and believe that it's easier than we think. We grow up with so many false misconceptions that things have to be hard, but they're not that hard as our mind thinks they are. And it's so accessible nowadays. Please understand that trends are on our side. It's so accessible nowadays to consciously just take 1 hour a day, take 1 hour a day from now on, and say, I'm going to put 1 hour into two things. Number one is looking for like minded people that I can connect with in all these communities out there. And number two is I will dedicate time every day to get good at something that's meaningful for me that can help me create a good income over time, and just take 1 hour a day and just say, this is my sacred space and time. 1 hour a day, I'm going to learn something that I can use as a skill to create a good income. And then also in that hour, I'm going to start looking for good quality, like-minded people that I can form connections with that maybe in the past will be my tribe. And I think this can just be life-changing. And just give this time. Give this 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, 1 hour a day. That's 4% of your day. Dedicate 4% of your day, and it's not going to be perfect in the beginning, but watch, because it's that planting that seed, and then watch it grow in 6 months, in 1 year. Life can change so much, so much.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's like, it's always, we just need to believe, to remember that we are creators and be gentle to ourselves. Be gentle because for most of part of our life, we were living unconscious life and we're doing the things that people want us to do. But when we come back to our potential, when we come back to ourselves and we start to do this small steps and we start to release these patterns and break the chains of limiting beliefs, and yeah, we need to be gentle and always remember that one step a day with the right tools that we can use, we can manifest the dream life, we can manifest the reality we want. And the most important thing, we don't need to do it alone. Always look for the like-minded people, and it will be easier journey, and it will be so beautiful, so fun journey together to create, to co-create. And I'm so happy that this amazing human being like joined for this life and spent the time with us and shared his wisdom and the tools and brought this beautiful community here. So yeah, we will continue our lives, IAM Creation Live series twice a month with amazing human beings, business people from business, leaders, entrepreneurs, like as I told, game-changing leaders. So please subscribe to IAM Creation Retreat, to Law of Attraction, and Tiberius. And yeah, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Alona. Thanks for being a good friend. Thanks for being supportive, and your presence just lights me up and lights people up, and you're just a beautiful person doing beautiful work here in the world, and I'm just very grateful to have you in my life, and happy I could be of support for your lives, and I hope our audience here got something inspiring out of it.
I'm inspired. Like, Monday, 1st of July, and I feel inspired, and I'm sure like this energy that I have inside, I will go to Mind Valley event. We have more than 1,000, I don't know, more than 1,000 people there in the room. So I will bring this excitement and light to this room, and let's see. I'm here to find the like-minded people. So who knows, who knows? And thank you very much for this inspiration and for sharing your story and tools. And
Thank you.
love you.
Enjoy. And it's so funny. I have not seen you 1 second. It's all like a black screen. But I'm so connected with you. I'm hearing you, and thanks you to all our family here. Thank you so much. Believe it's possible. Keep shining, and I'll see you again very, very soon. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Bye bye.